If there is one genre that never goes out of style, it is war. Whether in tactical battles that demand every move be calculated, or in intense FPS titles where the action gives you no room to breathe, 2026 promises to raise the bar for warfare in gaming. From cinematic campaigns to real-time strategies that put you in command of entire armies, the coming years are packed with titles that will test both your reflexes and your strategic mind. Today, we are going to take a look at the 10 best war games arriving in 2026 and beyond, from futuristic battlefields to the most brutal historical confrontations. I'm Mary, and get ready, soldier, because the war is about to begin.
Contact. Armor. Beast inbound. Hold your position. Keep your head on a swivel.
Gallipoli is a new war game that will throw you directly into the Middle Eastern front of World War I, one of the most intense and underexplored settings in historical FPS games. Blackmail Games, already known for the WW1 series, has brought impressive authenticity to this title, with weapons, uniforms, and maps faithful to the reality of the era, making you feel as though you are truly facing the sandstorms, windswept beaches, and scorching deserts of Lower Mesopotamia. What catches my attention most is the possibility of playing as Ottoman forces or the British Empire, bringing a different perspective from traditional European battles. The experience is tactical and squad-based, featuring several available classes and a game mode that can gather up to 50 players in matches requiring strategy and teamwork to maintain momentum and capture objectives. Beyond competitive multiplayer, Gallipoli also delivers an immersive atmosphere with historical details that make you reflect on the weight of decisions made in war. You will pass through ruined cities, face amphibious landings, and even deal with the pressure of suppression fire and sandstorms, all with realistic gameplay that values every move and choice. The game will be released for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series, featuring full crossplay, allowing you to play with friends regardless of their platform. Blackmail Games promises AI bots to balance public matches, which is a relief for those who like to play without always depending on large teams. If you enjoy war games that go beyond run and gun, Gallipoli delivers a heavy, reflective, and strategic experience. It is one of those games that makes you feel the weight of history, with maps and mechanics that prioritize teamwork and tactics, a rarity in modern FPS titles. Ultimately, Gallipoli promises to be one of the major highlights of the genre in 2026, especially for those who appreciate games that blend intense action with a dose of historical realism. If you are looking for an FPS that challenges you mentally and emotionally, this is a title worth keeping an eye on. '83 is a tactical first-person shooter that promises to place you in the middle of a Cold War that actually turned hot, transforming the world into a battlefield between NATO and the Warsaw Pact in an alternate 1983. The game features massive 40 versus 40 matches, creating intense and realistic experiences where every decision can turn the tide, and communication between squads is essential for victory. The primary setting is the Fulda Gap, a strategic region in Germany that would have been the most likely point of attack during that historical period. Here, you can choose from various classes, such as rifleman, machine gunner, grenadier, and even tank crew member, each with unique equipment and skills, requiring true team coordination to dominate the battlefield. The customization system allows you to build your character according to your playstyle, whether lighter for mobility or heavier for support. The game's focus is accessible realism. Weapons and vehicles are faithful to models of the time, featuring behaviors such as barrel overheating, the need for bipod support for machine guns, and even the loss of ammunition when reloading an incomplete magazine. Matches last an average of 30 to 40 minutes, with fast respawns that can still influence the course of combat, requiring every player to think twice before entering a crossfire. In addition to the battles, 83 introduces a leadership hierarchy, where commanders and squad leaders play a fundamental role in organizing attacks, issuing orders, and creating temporary spawn points. This reinforces the importance of communication and strategy, making every battle unique and dependent on teamwork. The game is also being constantly updated based on community feedback, showing the developers' commitment to offering an authentic and fun experience. It hasn't been officially released yet, but it is already available in early access on Steam, with a full release planned for early 2026. If you like tactical games and want to feel firsthand what a large-scale confrontation during the Cold War would be like, 83 is an experience worth following closely. What impresses me most is how 83 manages to balance historical authenticity with fluid gameplay. It's not just any shooter, it's a deep immersion into a world where every choice, every bullet, and every order can change the fate of the war. If you enjoy strategy, realism, and tension, you'll feel right at home with 83. Wraith Ops is a fast-paced tactical FPS that promises to bring back the essence of classic shooters, featuring objective-based combat, quick movement, and precise gunplay that demands skill and teamwork. The game stands out by offering a pure experience. No grind, no loot boxes, and no modern gimmicks, focusing on what truly matters, the combat itself. You will enter the field divided between two private military company factions, Aegis Industries and Volga Battalion, both searching for the remains of a Cold War project. The setting is tense, with atmospheric maps and mechanics that require strategy, communication, and coordination to conquer objectives and survive encounters. The arsenal is one of the major highlights, with over 60 different weapons, including rifles, machine guns, pistols, and special equipment, all customizable with scopes, silencers, gadgets, and camos. Customization is nearly limitless, allowing every player to build their favorite loadout and adapt to their playstyle. Classes are also varied, ranging from assault to heavy and specialist, each with unique skills and equipment for different roles on the battlefield. The game values teamwork with integrated leadership and communication systems, alongside tactical movement mechanics that make every match unique and adrenaline-filled. Wraith Ops is launching initially for PC via Steam, but there are already plans for mobile versions, allowing for cross-play between platforms and promising a tactical and competitive experience on both PC and mobile. It is still in the testing phase with constant updates, with direct community feedback shaping the future of the game. What wins me over most in Wraith Ops is how it balances nostalgia and modernity. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, but rather refines what is already good. Satisfying gunplay, fluid gameplay, and a tactical experience that values skill above all else. If you are a fan of classic tactical FPS games and seek something authentic, this is a game that deserves your attention. Black Vultures, Prey of Greed is a tactical FPS that promises to put you at the center of an intense and chaotic modern war where every decision can mean the difference between life and death. The game takes place in a setting where war has dragged on for years, and you will need to fight for one of 3 independent factions, each with its own motivations and objectives. The game's focus is on survival and the search for resources, money, and prizes, making every mission a race against time and enemies. Combat is ultra-realistic, featuring impressive graphics and mechanics that require skill, strategy, and communication to win. The vehicle and weapon system is varied, allowing you to customize your playstyle and adapt to different situations on the battlefield. The game brings an innovative touch by using NVIDIA ACE technology, which enhances enemy AI, making every encounter more unpredictable and challenging. This means you will never know exactly what to expect from your adversaries, increasing the adrenaline and tension in every match. Black Vultures' Prey of Greed also stands out for being free to play, but with a monetization system that promises not to compromise the core experience. The game has already undergone public testing, where developers implemented significant improvements based on player feedback, showing a real commitment to the community. The official release is predicted for 2026, and it is already possible to follow the development and even participate in playtests to try out a preliminary version of the game. What attracts me most is how the game manages to mix action, strategy, and realism, creating an experience that will hook those who enjoy tactical FPS games and want to feel the chaos of a modern conflict firsthand. If you are looking for an FPS that goes beyond traditional shooting and offers deep immersion in a world where every choice counts, Black Vultures' Prey of Greed is a game that deserves to be followed closely. Front RTS is a real-time strategy game that took me by surprise with its ambition and depth. It isn't just another RTS, it is an audacious blend of intense tactical combat with a layer of global strategy reminiscent of the great classics of the genre, but with a modern and dark twist. Imagine a dying industrial world, covered in concrete and radioactive dust, where 3 factions fight brutally for what remains. The first thing that catches your eye are the asymmetrical factions, the Industrial Empire with its synthetic humans and overwhelming firepower, the evolved mutants who have turned their own bodies into biological weapons, and the robotic escalation, mysterious machines of ancient origin. Each offers a completely different playstyle, requiring you to constantly adapt your tactics. And make no mistake, the game also features rebels and bandits to further spice up the chaos on the battlefield. What truly sets Front apart is the integration between the strategic map and real-time battles. You don't just fight on isolated maps, you manage territories, build fortresses, research technologies, and move your armies on a global map that directly impacts the battles. Want to use a missile strike or aerial bombardment? First, you need to control the right territory on the strategic map. It is an extra layer of depth that makes you feel like a true war commander. Visually and mechanically, the game is a spectacle of destruction. The terrain is deformable, craters are formed from explosions, and dynamic weather, storms, radioactive emissions, and falling space debris can change the course of a battle in seconds. Projectile physics and armor differentiation add tactical realism that will please genre veterans, recalling the complexity of games like Command and Conquer, but with its own visceral touch. For now, the developer's total focus is on the single-player campaign, which I find fantastic. Instead of diluting the experience with a rushed multiplayer, they are delivering a rich and immersive narrative, initially focused on the Industrial Empire, with plans to expand to the other factions in the future. This ensures that the story and gameplay are polished to the maximum. If you, like me, miss RTS games that challenge you both in the micromanagement of battles and the macro strategy of war, Dustfront is a must-watch title. The release date is still open, but based on what has been shown so far, it has everything to be one of the big names of the genre in 2026. Kingmakers is a war game that mixes the chaos of medieval battle with the devastating power of modern weapons, creating a unique experience that promises massive and chaotic battles in 15th century England. You will travel 500 years into the past to try and change the course of a bloody war and perhaps prevent an apocalypse, armed with everything modern technology has to offer. What impresses me most is the scale of the battles. Thousands of soldiers fighting at the same time, each controlled by an advanced AI that makes decisions, moves, and even demonstrates loyalty in real time. This transforms every combat into a dynamic spectacle, where the battlefield is shaped not only by your choices, but also by the behavior of enemies and allies, creating a sense of authenticity and unpredictability rare in current games. You can choose to be a soldier on the front lines, wielding assault rifles, throwing grenades, or even driving armored vehicles, or take on the role of a general, giving orders to troops and planning strategies from above. This duality between individual action and real-time strategy allows you to experience war through different perspectives, making every match unique and full of possibilities. The game also stands out for its dynamic environmental destruction and the use of modern weapons against medieval knights and archers, creating scenes of epic chaos that blend history and fiction in an unusual way. Whether running over crowds of enemies with an armored SUV or unleashing an airstrike on a castle, Kingmakers puts you at the heart of the chaos, where every decision can turn the tide of history. We still don't have an official release date, as the game was postponed indefinitely to ensure the experience meets expectations without cutting essential content. The developers want to deliver a solid game with stable performance without compromising its ambitious scale, even if it means more waiting time for us, players. If you, like me, love experiences that mix action, strategy, and a touch of madness, Kingmakers is a title worth following closely. It promises to revolutionize the genre with its combination of medieval battles, modern weapons, and cutting-edge AI, offering an epic journey where every choice can change the fate of the war.
He gave our people a future. I hope he can save his own.
Pacific War is a war game that completely flips the logic of traditional FPS titles. You are not a killer soldier, but a field medic responsible for saving lives amidst the chaos of World War II in the Pacific. The focus here is on realistic simulation, where you need to make quick and difficult decisions under pressure, dealing with the wounded, exploding bombs, and gunfire from all sides. The setting is intense and immersive, putting you in the role of an anonymous hero who must choose whom to save first, how to act in the face of severe injuries, and how to manage limited resources in the middle of battle chaos. Every choice has consequences, and not all soldiers can be saved, which creates moral dilemmas and moments of tension that go beyond simple shooting. Developed in Unreal Engine 5, the game promises detailed graphics and an oppressive atmosphere, making the experience even more realistic. You will need to carry comrades, apply bandages, administer medicine, and make critical decisions while trying to survive in a hostile environment where danger is everywhere. Medic Pacific War is not just about action, it's about empathy, courage, and humanity. The game wants you to put yourself in the shoes of someone who, even without weapons, makes a difference on the battlefield. This different perspective transforms every mission into an emotional journey, where true heroism lies in saving lives, not killing enemies. The release is planned for 2027, with versions for PC, PS5, and Xbox, and there is already a demo available for testing, showing the game's potential to create an authentic and striking experience. The developers focused on details such as realistic injuries, survival mechanics, and a narrative that values the role of war medics. If you seek a war game that goes beyond shooting and explores the human side of war, Medic Pacific War is a unique and moving experience. It promises not just adrenaline, but also reflection on the true meaning of being a hero amidst chaos.
I've got you. Help! Please don't leave me. Don't leave me. Help me, Sam. One more, please. We're here, Jerry. We made it. Come on now, we gotta go! Don't move. Dosa, let's not stay with me! Come on! You hit the way you want.
Over the Top WW1 is a multiplayer shooter set in the Great War that throws you into the chaos of the trenches with real-time combat in both first-person and third-person, aiming for massive battles. The most eye-catching promise is the scale, matches with up to 200 players at the same time, which can transform every advance into no man's land into a memorable moment, or a glorious disaster. The atmosphere conveyed by the promotional material is very grounded. Mud, smoke, barbed wire, and that constant feeling that the battlefield is swallowing you whole. And precisely because it is focused on massive confrontation, one can imagine the fun coming from the push and pull over objectives, with lines breaking and being reconstructed all the time. In terms of arsenal, the game doesn't just stick to rifle and courage. It mentions options like rifles, artillery, and even tanks, reinforcing the idea of industrialized and brutal warfare typical of the era. This kind of variety is usually where a WW1 multiplayer shines, because every role on the team can change the pace of the advance and defense in seconds. Another important part is that Over the Top WW1 is being conducted with public testing phases. Furthermore, there are already trailers and teasers focused on these playtest periods, so you can follow the project's evolution before the real launch. What draws the most attention here is the type of tension only a trench game can deliver. That second before climbing the ladder and running over the top, knowing someone is already aiming at you. If the 200-player scale truly translates into living fronts with organic pushes and counterattacks, it has everything to be one of those games that yields war stories you tell for years. PVKK is a planetary defense simulation game that will put you in command of a gigantic defense cannon locked in a bunker while facing an interplanetary invasion. The game is developed by the studio Bipin Bits and promises a unique blend of strategy, resource management, and a touch of humor amidst the routine of a space cadet. You will live the commander's routine, receiving orders from command, carefully adjusting the cannon's trajectory, firing at cosmic threats, and managing the bunker's resources. The experience is immersive, with controls that simulate mechanical switches and dials, making every action more engaging and realistic. In addition to the main missions, the game offers secondary activities, such as using the Tello radio to follow events on the planet, performing mental exams, and even playing retro mini-games that harken back to classic titles. This variety transforms the bunker into a space full of life, where you can relax with a cup of tea or distract yourself with lighter activities between space shootouts. The visuals and atmosphere are unique, with an aesthetic that mixes retro details and futuristic elements, creating a sense of isolation and tension. The game also explores moral dilemmas, forcing you to make difficult decisions under pressure, which adds an extra layer of depth to the experience. PVKK is scheduled for release in the winter of 2026, with a playable demo already available at events like Gamescom and the Tokyo Game Show. The developers have already confirmed that the game will be available on Steam, and the community is excited to try this unusual planetary defense simulation proposal. If you like games that mix strategy, simulation, and a touch of humor, PVKK promises to be a unique experience. It's not just about firing cannons, it's about living the routine of a commander, making hard choices, and having fun while trying to save the planet from a cosmic invasion.
They wish to eliminate this facility. Destroy them before they do.
Be sure to drink your health-giving tea and enjoy it. Days fly by when you love what you do.
Veil of Ashes is a real-time tactics game set in a dark steampunk universe where you will command armies in intense and strategic battles in a world devastated by an alternate 19th century apocalypse. The game puts you at the center of conflicts between three distinct factions: the Sacrum Imperium, dominated by firepower, the feudal Lowenreich with its knights and heavy tanks, and the socialist communes, which attack with agility and numbers. What won me over immediately was the tactical depth. You need to capture strategic points, manage resources, and call for reinforcements during battle, requiring fast thinking and constant adaptation. The environment is immersive, featuring destructible maps, grenade craters, and buildings that can be leveled, making every combat unique and chaotic. The factions offer different playstyles, requiring you to change your approach depending on the enemy and the scenario. This gives the game an extra layer of replayability, as every match can be a new tactical experience, whether leading a heavy tank charge or a swift light infantry offensive. The visuals and atmosphere are striking, with a dark steampunk aesthetic that blends mechanical details, old-fashioned weapons, and a world in ruins. This creates a feeling of constant tension, as if every decision could change the fate of the war in a world already on the brink of collapse. Veil of Ashes is available on Steam and already offers single-player and multiplayer experiences, allowing you to test your tactical skills against friends or the AI. The game has received positive feedback for its originality and the way it delivers a real-time tactics experience with a unique touch of fiction and chaos. If you enjoy games where every decision matters, where the environment reacts to your playstyle, and you want to experience tactical battles in a dark world full of personality, Veil of Ashes is a title that deserves attention. It promises hours of strategy, tension, and memorable combat in a universe that mixes alternate history and science fiction.